Hi, I'm Susan. It's July 30th, 2017, and I'm here interviewing Mom, Karen Smith, for the first time. We're going to learn all about her life legacies and all the different things that she's experienced. So let's get started. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
How are we doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Anything you want to start off with?
No, just that I love everybody. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, well, that's awesome. We love you too. Tons. I wanted to add some sarcasm to that, but there was no way I could do it.
You love each other equally, right?
Yeah,
Everyone,
equally.
right?
Yeah.
Just to put that out there.
Whatever.
All kids equally.
Whatever. Yeah, you had to throw that out there, huh, Corey? Because you're the favorite and had to make sure it was the right one. Anyways, I'm going to just pretty much go in order of the questions that I see here, but we're
Okay.
probably going to go on and on about certain things, I'm sure. So,
All right.
and I picked this one because, and it's life lessons and legacies, and the reason I picked this is because they're not yes or no questions. They're not one-word answer questions. They're definitely things that you have to elaborate on. So, have fun, feel free, tell me everything you want to tell me about it, and if you don't, I'm going to ask more about them. So,
You might have to because I'm not a wordy person.
oh, but you have been, and
I can
I've
be.
seen that.
I can be.
We
Yes,
can
I
talk
can.
forever, it seems like.
Exactly. Okay, so first question: what is your most cherished family tradition, and why is it important?
Oh, I think it's Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. And I love getting together for Thanksgiving and all the food. I love the family being together. My favorite holiday, so that would be the main one, I think.
Okay, just to add on to that, was that your favorite as a child as
Yes.
well as now?
Yes, and pumpkin pie. It was always my favorite. So.
So why so much as a child in comparison to now? Same reasons, or is there more to
I
it?
think as a child, it was because, of the food, really, seriously. And, the tradition, and in school you learn about all the
Pilgrims.
pilgrims and all the people and what happened and everything, and how much they had to suffer, and then you learn about America, and I love this country, and I'm grateful and thankful for it. So I'm thankful for many things, and that's one of the reasons I like it. And as a child, that kind of was in there, but mostly it was the food.
High five on that one. All right. What have you liked best about your life so far?
But should we go on why it's important to me now?
Well, I thought you
No,
did.
just
But, all right, we'll back up.
Well,
you do
I'm
you.
just now it's because of my family, my kids, and it's the one time we can all get together
Yeah.
and see each other,
Right.
and I love that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Holidays are a really important thing. I agree. Okay. Yeah. Now. Can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're ready.
Okay. What have you liked best about your life so far?
What I've liked best, I think, is the fact that I pretty much had the freedom to do what I wanted to do most of my life.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. If I really wanted to do something, I was able to do it. And as a kid, I was given lots of freedom by my parents, which most today would never happen. But seriously, I could just take off and go as a young child and just wander around the countryside and ride my horse. I could be by myself and have the freedom there. And as a teenager, way too much freedom. And I experienced too much then. Well, getting married at 16, that's kind of doing what you want and having your freedom. And then as an adult, I think that your dad always gave me the ability, if I really wanted to do something, go for it, and he would support me on it if it was something that was, practical and we could both benefit by.
Just a side note on that one. We didn't like it. Because Dad ended up making shepherd's pie continuously. So.
But it wasn't just that either. I mean, it was just the general, the attitude people have given me is, I don't know if they sensed in me that I was going to do it anyway,
Yeah.
but that I was able to, kind of run my own life in a lot of ways. So That
And you're
was
saying
good.
that's a good thing?
Well, it was a good thing at some times. Sometimes it wasn't the best thing.
Right.
Now I realize I should have listened to God more, because I should have had him running it more.
A little more direction maybe would have been more of a positive thing, but I don't know. I think you turned out pretty good. I mean,
Well, I was sensible. If I hadn't been sensible about it, it would have been a total mess.
Right.
But
Do you have
You-
any stories from one of those times that you were allowed to go and do your own thing that maybe you thought you shouldn't have?
why don't you come sit over here?
yes, yes. I don't know if you want to get into that or not. But,
That's fine.
Oh, I want to hear the Tijuana story again. But you know, you do you.
oh, I don't think you want to hear that one. That one's not good. We don't want to hear that one again. Yeah, I just went a little overboard as a crazy teenager, doing what I wanted to do and taking off times when I shouldn't have, and put my parents through a lot with that. So I would, and now being a parent, I know that was bad. So
Well, I've got two questions on that note. First of all, I mean, do you feel like it's because the times were so much different then and you having more of the freedom that you didn't feel as much in danger as you would have? Because
Right.
you weren't like that with raising us.
No.
We did not have that freedom.
no, you didn't, because I knew what could have happened to me and discovered some of the things that could have happened to me while I was being my free self. You know, that's why I was overprotected in a lot of ways. Helicopter mother sometimes.
You know,
but-
that's okay. It's how I ended up.
yeah. But I think, yeah, what was the question again? What do I regret about the?
No, do you think the time was different
Oh,
then?
yeah, when I
in
was a
comparison
kid,
to now?
we could stay out till 10 o'clock at night. My mom didn't even wonder where I was at. You know, seriously, and we didn't have people running around snatching kids and, you know, worrying about your neighbor molesting you or something like that. It was just a different time. It was in the, 50s and kind of Leave It to Beaver time, all that stuff. And so we really didn't. But now, today's, I wouldn't even consider it. I
Right.
worry about Sage going in the yard.
Right, right.
I worry about your kids even talking to anybody sometimes when I think about the people that they run into.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then, I mean, you were saying it was the 50s. Well, then it was like, and you were still in Wahoo, right?
You were in Wahoo when I was a child. At
Right.
12, we left to go
Okay.
to California, but I was all the time before that.
Right. Well, then in the 70s, you had that Mary Hesse that was, abducted right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
and that was in Wahoo as well.
That was in the 70s.
Right, that's what I'm
And
saying.
that was a
so-
big change in time. That's when all the drug culture came in. That's when all the freedom, the free love, and hippy dippy stuff was going on. So that was totally different.
Right, right.
In my day and age, it was like some of the hit songs in those days were "Let's Go to Church on Sunday Morning." I believe, that song, or I believe it's a song about God. I mean, it was just a whole different thought of what was going on. Of course, in the undertones was racism,
Right.
people were being excluded. So there was a lot of undertones that of subcultures that I didn't know about or participate in. That wasn't good.
Right, right.
But so
And awesome that we were able to get over at least a good hump of the
Yeah.
racism.
yeah, most of it. I think most of it's, even though everybody thinks they're a victim these days,
Yeah.
in one way or another.
Right. You brought up God a little bit about having more direction and leading more on Him. So, how did you feel about God when you were younger?
I became a Christian at the age of 10. I was baptized. Always proud of the fact that I was baptized by Reverend Jordan. I
that's
always
great.
thought that was the most special thing in the world.
Right.
And I have been a Christian ever since then. I know the Holy Spirit's been with me and led me through many of these things I decided I wanted to do.
Right.
Or I wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
And
Neither would we.
yeah. So
On that note.
yeah. So
So you feel
It's-
you've actually had God in your life the majority of your
oh
life.
yeah, my mother was raised us that way, and we
Right.
knew of it. We were always brought up that way and taught in the church, and yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll move on. What is your happiest or proudest moment?
In my whole life?
or whatever. Sure. If there's
Happiest
more
or
than one, talk about it.
Well, I guess probably the happiest moment
Oh.
that you're doing the interview
Oh, good choice, Mom.
is that I was told after all these years in adopting 2 children who I love dearly and was so glad to get and was happy about that too, but being told that I was pregnant with you was it was exhilarating.
Could you imagine though? I mean,
Right.
15 years.
adopt, and then you can't, and then all of a sudden you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was probably.
I would have loved to experience that, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
I didn't have that
It
option.
was- No, but it was really something. We were married 15 years, and your father got the results. And I said, I don't believe it. He said, it's true. And I said, I don't believe it. You even have to call him back and check it again, because I don't believe it. So he did, and he said, yes, you are pregnant, so
Wow.
that was, then we just jumped around and had a good time.
You both did, really, literally.
Yeah, we were very happy about it.
How did Dad tell you? Do you remember?
He
Did he-
said the doctor
Did you just come
called.
out and
And because I think I was too nervous to even call for the results. I had him do it. And then I didn't believe him. So,
Way to go, Mom.
I know.
Well, surprise, it was true. 43 years
And
later.
here you are.
Yeah.
so
Beautiful.
how did he do it?
Huh?
How did Dad tell you?
He called for the results.
Okay.
And, or they called him, something. I couldn't, I was just too nervous
So
to
he was
even-
on the phone and you were waiting.
Yeah, I was waiting, and then I didn't believe him, so, yeah.
And then did he hand the phone to you and
Then I made him call him back, because he
Yeah.
hung up the phone to tell me. And then I made him call him back and double check.
then you had to hear it for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So did they have like the home pregnancy
they had,
sticks?
they had the urine test, and I think they did blood test too.
Okay, but did you do any home pregnancy
Oh, no,
tests?
there was no such thing in those
Oh,
days,
I
no.
wouldn't know.
There had no ultrasounds to find out what sex it was or anything, nothing like that. So, if there'd been ultrasounds, you probably would have been a C-section, Corey. Yeah.
What would my name have been if I was a boy?
I think I thought of Michael for you. I love that name, Michael, but there's so many Michaels in this family. I think I would have done it anyway. But I like that name, and so I think that would have probably been it.
All right, fair. Do you have any more?
Well, you don't want to know why I like your name.
Oh, well, we
You know
sure
what
could
that
get to
is.
that. Sure.
Well,
That's
okay.
a different
well,
section question, but sure,
Oh,
let's talk about
so
me.
we're talking about names. I just say your name is Susan, and Hebrew is Shoshana for white lily,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that white lily. So
Very cool. I did know
Shoshana.
that. Yeah, Shoshana. Do you have any more proud or happy moments that you want to
there's probably tons of them. I'm proud and happy when I got my nursing degree. Proud always when you guys accomplish stuff. In school or just even seeing you in your programs and things like that was always proud and happy to see that.
Hmm.
So.
What do you feel have been the important successes in your life? And then talk about the frustrations.
Okay, well, important successes probably was to maintain a marriage for 51 years.
Right.
And then also to, to be able to do mothering the way I thought I should do it, failed a lot of times, but be able to keep things going and run a household and, be able to do that and keep things neat and orderly and be a fairly decent wife most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. And that was a good accomplishment. And my nursing degree, I was proud of that. And being able to work in some of the places I worked, that was really an accomplishment, especially in that transplant center
Mm.
where I worked. That was really an eye-opener.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting, so. And the patients, very, very much an accomplishment with them. I think of them a lot, so.
Hmm.
Yep. It's good.
Frustrations?
Frustrations would be, a lot of times it was frustrations with myself because I couldn't do everything I wanted to get. I mean, I'm a person that when I think of what needs to be done, I think 10 to 15 years in the future.
Wow.
That's the way I've always been. I want to make sure, I always think that I have to have it planned out for at least that long. This year, this, and then every 5 years, this. You know, you can't do that.
You would be one heck of an interviewer then. Holy cow, the amount of interviews that you've been on, I'm sure that, well, what is your 5-year plan?
Yeah.
You just had it like that, didn't
Really?
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But, so that would be my frustration, because I always was ahead of myself. And I never enjoyed the moment like I
Yeah.
should.
I can relate
Yeah,
to that.
yeah.
Like raising kids.
Yeah.
Okay, that next milestone.
Yeah, we're
Let's
gonna,
get them to that
yeah, we
next
gotta
one.
do this, it's the
Right.
goal setting of years ahead.
Mhm.
That just, you ruin the moment when
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sad that we realize that after the
Oh,
fact.
yeah,
you
it all
know?
happens when you are 74 evidently.
43.
Yeah.
There's been numerous of times I've told people that are just starting out having kids, okay, that's amazing they got to that first milestone. Don't blink.
Mhm.
Seriously, it's going to go so fast.
Mhm.
And cherish this because
yeah.
I don't know how many times each one of my kids, all right, they're crawling, let's get them to walk.
Mhm.
All right, they're walking, let's get them to talk
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
And then I get my oldest who comes at me with, actually, Mom, at the age of 2.
I know.
Okay, I've got to slow something down.
I So then you go through all that, and then when you get it over with, you think, we accomplished all this, they're all out, and they're doing this, and now what do we do?
Mhm.
It's quiet.
Mhm.
It's so quiet.
Okay, can't do that anymore. I'm gonna start bawling right now. What do you feel have been the important successes in your life? No, I just talked about that. Let's go. Let's move on.
Let's go down 5, 10 years.
Right. What's the most difficult thing that ever happened to you, and how did you deal with it?
The most difficult thing that
Please don't refer to me being born again.
that was a doozy, I'll tell you that. Well, it's two things really. The first one would be when Corey, I almost lost him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was bad, and that was the most difficult day I ever spent. But then, of course, the next difficult thing was your father's sickness and death.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was trying on all of us.
Yeah,
But you dealing with it specifically
Yeah.
yourself here day in, day out.
Yeah. that was rough.
Yeah. So, if you want to delve in it, you can. How do you deal with? Let's talk about how you dealt with Corey.
Well, pray, and I'm not kidding you. I never prayed so hard in my life. Oh man, that was the hardest prayer I ever did, and boy was it answered.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I don't know how this sounds gross or not, but he sealed that up so tight that it would, so he wouldn't be flying out of there, that they had a hard time getting it open for him to be born.
Okay, not gonna lie, that did sound a little gross.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm talking about the
cervix.
cervical area. Yeah,
Right.
I mean seriously, and the doctor was amazed by that. And I figured, well, there's God for you. It ain't happening if he doesn't want it to, So.
So they didn't have a cerclage back in the day then.
Oh, nothing like that. No, it just. You know what he told me? Go home and get off your feet. And I had 4 other little kids running around,
Right.
driving me crazy.
Right. The truth comes out now.
I said it wasn't always perfect.
Okay. So,
So that was.
and what was
prayer.
the issue with Corey? I mean, the
He
cord
just-
was. Is that what the deal
Well,
was?
no, what happened, I almost lost him at 3 months. He was just about, water broke, everything. That was almost it.
Wow.
So that's when I started praying hard and went to the doctor and he said, well, that's all you can do. And he gave me and we took those usual shots that I took with you guys. And it worked. And then when he was born, cord around his neck.
Yeah.
If they'd have seen that, it would have been a C-section, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you were
he's-
definitely a fighter.
He was, and he's a blessing. So, you all are, but especially that.
That's why you're the favorite. Anyways. All right, yeah, those are really, I mean, not to make light of any of the situation, that is really something that I don't know if I could have.
Probably a lot of things, that I could throw in there, but those are the two main ones.
Right. Okay, so, what do you think the turning points have been in your life, and why were you like them? What were you like then? I'll read eventually.
Turning points, huh? Well, I guess the turning point was getting married. That was a big turning point. And the next turning point would be becoming a mother. And see, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what turning points are.
Well, do we need to talk about what we talked about before? I think a big turning point would be the fact that you succeeded at raising 5 children,
Well, yeah.
taking
that's
care of
true.
your father, going to school,
Oh,
working full time, overnights,
Yeah, that's
having people come over, all in the same time frame.
Yeah, and
So-
a new grandbaby born, and among all that, everybody living there, it was interesting.
Yeah.
And probably another big turning point was when we moved to California as a child. That was a big culture shock,
I bet.
big one.
Yeah.
I remember getting off the train thinking, this is weird.
You said 12 you moved there?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to California when you were 12?
Yeah, my dad went out there too.
Oh, your entire family?
Yeah, the entire family, because he needed to get a job. We was like a recession, and he needed to go out there, and Benny got him a job where he was working, and the General Dynamics, where they made rockets and different things like that. So that was really a rough age to be transitioning like that to something that much different, So,
Well, that was what Paul went through. Paul was
yeah, he had to come back
11.
here, and we just reversed it on him.
Right.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, it is, isn't it?
And the question was, what were you like then during the turning points?
What was
the
I
question was what do you yeah. What
so-
do you think the turning points have been in your life, and what were you like then?
Yeah,
Well,
so you were
as a
12.
child, I was pretty shy at that age, and also I was a country girl, and that was not country out there, believe me.
Yeah.
Totally
Right.
different scene. It was all Fonzies and poodle skirts and everybody, really slick looking, and this wasn't what I looked like.
How long did it take you to adjust?
Probably about a full year, and I got in a little too good then.
Oh, do delve on that a little bit. How good did you get in there?
Oh, well, I had a friend that showed me, she was pretty cool, and we did a lot of fun things that were not supposed to be fun. We thought they were.
Well, of course
And I
they
had
were fun
a
when they
couple
were
of
not
friends
supposed
that
to.
along the way that we all did that, so it was interesting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I adjusted in about a year or so, a little too good.
You've always been one that could adjust no matter where you were,
Yeah.
though, so.
When did you finally meet Dad?
Then I met your dad. I was with one of these friends.
Oh,
And we were having a Coke at this place that we always went there, and your dad happened to always go there too. And here it comes in, your dad and this this guy that he knew. Now, they come walking in, and we're sitting there having a Coke.
I can see it, Dad. I can see it too.
Oh, yeah.
I totally can see him walking in like that.
So, of course, how you doing? And, the old pickup lines, so. They said, well, how'd you like to go to a party? It was Halloween. And we said, sure, I'd like to go to a party. So we went out there, and your dad was pretty enamored with me, and he decided he wanted to marry me that night, so.
Now we know where Susan gets things from. Just saying.
And so that's when I told him, sure, heck yeah, let's get married. I thought he was kidding. And here he comes the next day with a ring,
Holy cow.
Or was it, no, it was either the next day or the day after that. He was serious. I thought he was joking up the one end and down
Did
the
you
other.
ask him what the world what are you doing here?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, what, he comes in with a ring and it's showing my dad his Blue Cross card. That's the only thing, that's the only thing he had that showed that he was a sensible person.
I have insurance.
And my dad,
Was it insurance for his vehicle or was it actual medical insurance?
it was medical, I guess.
Really?
And my dad was there like, wow, that's really good. You know, that was my father.
Oh
And he was probably thinking, what? You know? But
Right.
He really went along with it with him, so.
Wow. Did Grandpa ever give him the blessing? Like, I mean,
Well, you know, he knew I was gonna do it anyway. That's what I'm talking about, that freedom thing.
right.
He knew I was gonna do it.
But
So-
you thought he was kidding.
Well, yeah, but when I really got into it,
Oh.
because I kind of liked him too.
Did you? So when him and his buddy came over and, you know, schwarway, what, I can't even say the word.
You could just see him, which one do you want, which one? You
Right,
could just tell the way
right.
they were.
So was
picking him
Dad,
up.
did he have
Well,
you
in
on his
a way,
sides?
but in a way, I always thought he kind of looked at Sandy a little bit more than he did me, and I always got him. We would get after him for that, you know.
Really?
But he ended up with me, and he thought it was okay by the end of the night. He thought I was pretty cool.
Right
So,
on.
What age?
I was 15 at that time.
So 3 years in California, and then that's
So I'm telling
And then we're talking about marriage. All
Yeah,
right.
I adjusted real fast. You should have seen me when I
When in Rome.
got off that train. I didn't look like a country bumpkin. I don't know who did. On the train, interesting thing, I was sitting there here with my freckles and auburn hair and sitting there with my mother. And this guy comes over and says, here, and showed me a pig. He just sketched me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And as a kid, you don't think anything of it. Oh, yeah,
Right.
well, everybody should sketch you, you know.
Yeah. Why
So
not?
I looked at it and I go, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. And my mom said, you know, come on, you know, he was
Right.
showing you that. So I thought that was nice. I don't know what he saw in me that he wanted to sketch, but I was probably just a country-looking girl, you know. he
Well,
thought that
and
was
you were on the train to go to California, and that
Yeah.
wasn't something that was
I
as
kind of wonder what he did for a living now.
Hmm.
Maybe he was some budding artist that went on to be famous. You
Hmm.
know.
maybe.
that was.
Do you still have that picture?
No, I don't think I think he kept it,
Oh,
which I thought was kind of strange too. But I don't know, whatever, you know, because he didn't offer it, I didn't accept it, because I
Wow.
was just like, oh yeah, that's nice here.
thanks a lot. Here you go. Is this what we do in California? Is we sketch people on trains? All right, whatever. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go on to another one. Not that wasn't interesting, but you know, let's keep seeing what's out here. Are there times in your life that you remember more vividly than others, and why? Other than the little bits that you've talked about, is there any more that have stuck out?
Oh, well, you know, you think of things in your childhood, like I spent most of my days in trees. You know, I would climb trees and look at the sky and all the beautiful nature, you know, and then riding my horse on the country roads. There was nothing like it, bareback riding, and it's just a wild feeling, you know.
What was your horse's name?
Waco, it was his Big Chief Tawakani. That was his name because my brother Benny was he was in the Navy on a ship called Tawakani. And so we named the horse after the ship. And you have to understand the family.
Okay.
We were kind of weird.
Big Chief.
Yeah, but we called him Waco.
Yeah. Can you explain why?
I don't have, all I know is that that's the suggestions they threw out. So,
Okay.
Like she said, they were weird.
yeah, we had
we never
strange-
ever didn't give you
strange-
that credit.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody with a dog named Gizmo doesn't have too much room.
Are you kidding me? That dog looks just like that movie. Gosh. We're not even gonna argue. Anyways.
So yeah, that kind of, those free and beautiful days, you know, when you're a kid, I remember that. And also the feeling of, again, of being a mother. That was a wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful feeling to be able to do that. And of course, being first married, and I guess just family get-togethers then too. Those were nice things to. They were good.
All right. Well, it just kind of brought up something. This is a prior question in one of the different sections, but I'm gonna throw it out there just because I've asked my kids, I've asked my friends, I've asked as many people as I possibly could, and it's so interesting to hear the response. But what is your very first memory?
My very first memory it's another weird one, but it's a steamy kitchen, real cozy, and it must have been real cold in the winter. And my first memory is of a teapot that my mother had, looked like a little cottage. And it was on the table, and I remember sitting, I must have been low, because I was looking at it pretty low, and there must have been tea in it, of course. And looking at that and thinking how cozy that it was there, I just felt good. And so I couldn't have been more than 4. So that's just remembering that teapot. And then another time, we had a big blizzard, going over to the low windows in our living room and looking out on the snow.
I remember those windows.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was an interesting feeling of being secure and safe,
Mm-hmm.
with the outside being pretty weird and wild.
Now, when you moved from Wahoo to California, and then Grandma and Grandpa moved back after, was it always that same house?
Yeah.
Really? So they never sold that house when they moved to California?
No, in fact, Uncle Butch was living in it because he needed a place to stay.
Oh, wow.
And other people would stay there. Dick and Alvina stayed there when they came back, and a lot of different people lived there. They just was kind of like, you want a house there.
Huh.
So but they had to take care of it.
Right,
you
of
know,
course.
Best they could. Yeah. So
All
that
right.
was it. That was the house, and they came back to that. And
Did they buy it or build it when they first got it?
they bought it. It was one of the first houses in Saunders County.
Huh. In Saunders County or in Wahoo?
In Saunders County.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old was that house?
Oh, it's ancient. It's still there.
I know. What year was it built?
You know, I don't know if they ever got an abstract on that or not.
Huh.
But,
Wow.
It was really old. Like probably a homesteady type thing, you know.
Right, right. Almost should be on the historical.
Well, you'd think so, but
Who knows? Okay. Well, anyways, I digress. Okay. What have describe a person or situation from your childhood that had a profound effect on the way you look at life.
that'd have to be my mom, and then of course my dad.
Yeah.
And
For two different, totally different
If he
reasons.
couldn't give you a profound effect on life, I don't know who could. So, and my mother, of course, she was always the one that was stable. She was a stable one that you could count on, and yeah. So, and emulating her, she was just a great person, smart, intuitive, really good lady.
Well, you've done it. From what I remember, you've gotten it. Well, I only knew her for 7 years, but seems to me like you've gotten pretty close for the 7 years I knew her. Okay.